please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll have a roll call. Mr. Morelli.
Present.
Ms. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Slosser.
Here.
Mr. Schramm.
Here.
And Ms. Fusero here. Is there a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second it.
Okay, Mr. Schramm and Mr. Slosser. Okay, opposed, abstentions, none heard. Huh? Oh, all in favor. Thank you. I'm not good at this. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 The agenda is adopted. All right, we will now move into public comment on agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters listed on the agenda. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes of commentary and 1 comment per person. When speaking, please state your full name and municipality. We will begin with those in person. No? Okay. Is there anybody on the Zoom platform? Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me look here. Dave?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, this is
Can you-
Dave Chomp from West Pittston.
You can go ahead and start.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. The first question concerns the petitions for the Government Study Commission. And I did send in an email regarding this question, but I never got an answer or a reply to it. There were 2 candidates who submitted petitions, and they did not have any names filled out in the committee for vacancy, the committee to fill vacancies. And my question was, is if this is not considered a fatal flaw, in other words, it's not a fatal flaw, so then does that mean that somebody would have to challenge those petitions in order to strike those petitions from being considered? That's my first question. I never got clarification on that. So do you want to take one at a time, or how do you want to proceed?
Well, this is agenda items only, and we are doing the ballot right now. So if you'd like to, you can address that at the end, and maybe we'll address that at the end. Do you have something on the agenda item?
Since I believe both of these questions were pertaining to the certification of the ballot, so I thought they were tied in. But if I need to, I guess I could wait until the end.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that the petitioning period is for challenging petitions is over. So
Right. I understand that. So should I just wait until after you certify for my questions then?
does your question have to do with anything that has to do with the certification of the ballot and people on the ballot?
The actual certification process, no, no, not really.
Okay, then we'll wait until after if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other online questions? I don't see anybody with their hands up. Oh, let's see, wait a minute. I do have one other person. There is a phone line with 213. You can go ahead and unmute. can we unmute them? How do they unmute? Star something. Denise, how do they unmute?
6. It's
Star
Mr. Ray.
six. You
It's
can press
Mr.
star
Rabo.
6.
Mr. Rabo.
Yeah, Mr. Rabo, can you press, sorry, can you press star 6? There you go.
Madam Chair, this is Mark Rabo of Hazleton speaking. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, they can.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, with regards to the certification of the primary ballot, there was the past 2 election board meetings, there was discussion on the scrolling down of the ballot for government study, yet no one has thought about nor brought up as a discussion point about how, as far as if the people vote no on the study commission, would they still be, they would still have to vote for the candidates they would choose, regardless if they voted yes or no on the question. So my question is, does the Bureau have any plans, or does the Office of Law have any suggestions as to how the Bureau should proceed with that on the either the mail-in ballot or on the voting device, as far as that goes, to notify the voter that even if they vote no on the question, they would still have to vote for the 7 candidates, or as many, or however many candidates they want to select for the study commission question. I think that needs to be also cited as much.
If you,
Mr. Rabo, you
a few
faded out
weeks-
on us.
Excuse me, there are people that are voters that are confused still, that they say that they're voting no and they don't have to pick out any candidates. So I think that needs to be clarified with the public, whether it's, I don't know if the Bureau would do that or the Office of Law, but someone needs to, help out the voter to understand that they still have to pick out the candidates, even if they vote no on the question. I think that needs to be spotlighted. So forward to any answers or suggestions that may arise in your discussion about the certification of the ballot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rabo. And I'm actually going to let our attorney answer that question.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Rabo, that's already taken care of. That is part of the instruction that will be on the ballot. And that wasn't just something that the Bureau or board decided to do because they thought it was just a nice idea. It's actually required by the statute, by the Home Rule Charter and Optional Plans Law requires that instruction, that even if you vote no on the underlying question, you then can still vote for candidates to serve on the commission in the event that it passes. So that instruction
You're
will
correct.
be there.
You're correct on that, Mr. Attorney Molino. I just wanted to spotlight, to edify the board and the public and Bureau as to if, especially on the voting device, because there are people that I've spoken to that said they will vote no on the question on the voting device,
Okay.
and they don't have to pick out any candidates. So that's
Yep,
why
it is on,
I
it's on
posed that.
Right.
both mail and absentee ballots, as well as on the electronic voting device. The instruction will be there.
Thank you, Mr. Rabo.
just a question, so you're not locked out then? If you vote no, you could still vote.
Absolutely. You can, right, you can vote no on the question of a government study commission, but then proceed to the selection of commissioners.
Oh,
Mhm.
maybe you'd be locked out. You wouldn't-
No.
Okay.
So are there any other online?
Ms. Lucero, I do have a question that would pertain to the certification of the ballot. Dave Chomp again.
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So according to an article in the Times Leader, and this pertains to the one column listing decision, Ms. Cook said the decision to remain with a one-column listing was made after an extensive and thorough review with legal counsel, the election consultant, and the Pennsylvania Department of State. Are there names to go along with those three entities, the legal counsel, the election consultant, and the person from the Department of State, just for our own edification, so we know who actually Ms. Cook or Mr. Molino spoke with from these different entities?
Okay, well, I don't have a problem with them answering your problem or with them answering your question, but this would probably be done better through email to the Election Bureau office. These are questions for the board on the certification, but do you want to answer that?
No.
Simple answer.
Simple
No.
answer, no.
Okay.
So we have no names of who these people are. Nobody has any names.
Oh, well, I mean, when you're talking, if you want a list of people that they questioned for this, you are going to have to reach out through email. Okay.
Okay,
Because
but who is the election consultant?
that is not a question for us right now.
So you have no idea who, when
No,
Ms. Cook talks
I
about an election
do.
consultant,
Who is it?
you have no
Judge
idea who this election consultant is?
Attorney Gates, but right now that's the election consultant is Attorney Gates.
Attorney
Okay.
Gates.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have.
Thank you. No, we are having no more questions. There's one comment per time per person. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to get this started.
Madam Chair, it's Rick Morelli.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I thought it was Mark Rabo again. Go ahead.
No.
What did you want to answer?
Just really quick while we're on the subject of that. I did look into the question about the ballot and the question that the gentleman asked. I did speak with the representative of the voting machines. I spoke to him twice. He's supposed to get me a contact at the state. Because again, what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for specifically who from the state and where from the state it says it's mandated. Unfortunately, he was not able to get me the name or be able to provide me with any of that information. So I would ask that we, as a board, continue to look into that so that there's something in writing that's shown to us that where it says that. I know we can't do anything for this election, but I do think we need to make sure we understand exactly what the state tells us we're supposed to do, and so we're able to see it. Because right now, I will say after my homework that I've done, and I'm not saying I've done everything, but from talking to the representative of the voting machines and who's supposed to be the one answering to the state, I was not delivered any information on it. So I hope that we continue to look into that.
Yeah, and I would like to continue looking into it as well. So, and we'll get into that a little bit more now, because it is, we only have one item on the agenda this evening, and that is the Board of Elections and Registration Certification of April 23rd, 2024 general primary election ballot. And for information, discussion, board vote to certify the ballot. The final draft of the ballot is available for viewing on the Luzerne County website, and and that is noted on the agenda for those who needed that. We had to each review all of this, and I'd like to open this up for discussion. So does anyone have any noted changes or issues that need to be addressed that are on the specific ballot? Denise, you're always good for this one. You didn't see any. You didn't.
No,
see any
all the issues that I had, as you know, I emailed and included all the board members in my emails, and they were all resolved.
Okay, Anyone else?
Madam Chairman, just, I don't know if this is on the ballot, just a question. Central scanning, what is that? Maybe Ms. Cook could have.
The central count scanners refer to our mail ballot scanners, the
Oh.
ones that we use for pre-canvassing and canvassing of the ballots.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if no one has anything, then I'd like to move to seeing, does anybody have a motion to approve the ballot?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion to approve the April 23rd, 2024 general primary election ballot. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call vote. Mr. Morelli,
Yes.
Mr. Schlosser,
Yes.
Mr. Schramm,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
and Ms. Fusaro, yes. The ballot is the April 23rd, 2024 general primary election ballot has been approved. We will now move into public comment on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters that are not listed on the agenda, but that fall within the subject matter of the board. Again, each person will be limited to 3 minutes and one comment per person. When speaking, please state your full name and municipality. We'll begin with those in person.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Cernak. I'm from Plains Township. Basically, just want to commend the board, the Bureau, and the Office of Law for all their hard work and all their time, just getting us here to this point in the election. I'm looking forward to getting my ballot and voting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then we have Mr. Chomp online.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Dave Chomp from West Pittston. So to piggyback on my first question, concerning the two candidates for Government Study Commission that did not have any names in the listed for the committee to fill vacancies. And I guess I'm going to pose this question to Attorney Molino. If that is not considered a fatal flaw to eliminate those ballots, those petitions, then would that have to be something that is challenged? And whichever way is correct, is there any kind of past precedent that you're basing your decision on? Thank you.
I'll just answer it this way. All candidates or any citizen has the right to object to nomination petitions or papers, and that period has long expired.
Right, I understand that, but just going forward in the future, since that section was not filled out, I guess my question is, why was that not considered a fatal flaw to discard those nominating petitions? Because
Sure,
the instructions clearly stated that it must be filled out.
And that is,
We typically don't get into a real question and answer.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as the Office of
exactly.
Law is concerned, we don't, our client is the board and the various county offices, and we typically don't just give legal advice to citizens or
So,
residents.
as mentioned before,
Mhm.
any type of flaw that you had recognized needs to be addressed, needed to be addressed in a certain time period. And if it wasn't, and I will tell you this, Mr. Trump, I understand that the director at the time had said that, but we can't answer that for you right
And
now.
for the record,
That's something, I think that if you need to consult with an attorney and you need to bring this matter to court, then that's something that needs to be done.
no,
Okay?
I'm just a citizen and a candidate that's looking for answers. And for the record, I did send out an email to the election board, to the director, and to Manager Crocamo requesting information and clarification on this, and I never got a reply. So that's why I'm here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Mr. Rabo, you can unmute yourself.
Madam Chair, this is Mark Rabo of Hazleton speaking. I just want to say that other than the process with respect to the casting of the lots and also the nomination petitions, I'd like to thank the board and the Bureau for their work in this primary election, and I hope and pray this primary election goes without any crises or blunders, and excuses that happened in previous elections. Also, I would like to publicly thank Vice Chairman Brian Thornton for forwarding my email complaint that the board and the Bureau did not forward to the District Attorney's Office. And it's interesting that, Attorney Molino, as it was stated last night by Acting Election Director Emily Cook, and also the County Manager Romilda Crocamo both said that Attorney Molino rendered his legal opinion saying that the casting of lots was done according to Section 2875, which I strongly dispute, but I will be willing to take this matter up with the District Attorney's Office, and I will gladly abide by any ruling by the District Attorney's Office in this matter, because the process has not been followed uniformly, not only in this primary election, but previous primary elections. The 2875, the casting of the lots, has not been done in accordance with that section of the election law. So I just want to make it clear. And also, I'm sure that board member Morelli would attest to, as he was a charter drafter, the Government Study Commission is a study commission, not a government learning commission. There is a difference. And I hope that past and current candidates for the Government Study Commission can come forward and kind of explain the difference between a Government Study Commission and a Government Learning Commission, meaning that the candidates don't automatically learn about the county government overnight, that they should already know the county government structure and not have to, do a cramming course and think this is a state paid for cramming course that they can learn about county government just to propel their political ideologies or political futures. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rabo. Are there anybody?
Let me just jump.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want this hanging out there, because it's been mentioned several meetings, and I don't want the board, the public, county council to think that something wasn't followed. I know Mr. Rabo has made this statement, and the casting of lots procedure was done according to law. It was done according to the election code. 2875 is the section that governs the casting of lots. I know there was a statement made at a previous meeting that there was no notification to candidates by mail. That is not required. There is language in one sentence that discusses that, but that's for the Secretary of the Commonwealth to notify candidates who file in that office, the statewide. Then you go to the very next section and it talks about what we do at the county level, excuse me, the county board and the county bureau. And that is just publication in local newspapers. That was done in this case. It was done in what sometimes people refer to as the proclamation, but it's called the Office is Open for Nomination. That was advertised in both online and print versions of the Times Leader and Citizens Voice. I think Ms. Cook has proofs of publication in her office. And incidentally, there I know has been some issue over who does that, the Bureau and board, and I'm not going to really get into the details of that, but I will simply note that on the bottom of that legal advertisement are the words "by order of the Luzerne County Board of Elections." And then lastly, as far as the date itself for the casting of lots, we follow the state. The date prescribed by the Department of State is February 21st, 2024. That's the same date that we did it. The Department of State puts out their election calendar. I think they published their election calendar in January. So we follow the Department of State's guidance, the dates that they prescribe, as well as 2875. And again, it's the, opinion of the Office of Law that the casting of lots was done properly according to the election code. I don't know how, there's much more I can add to that.
Thank you.
If I
Attorney Wolf.
could please add something to that.
Yes.
I think Mr. Rabo's concern with 2875 is that the very first part of 2875 states when this needs to be done, which it says immediately after. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it states immediately after the last day for the nomination petitions to be submitted, which would have been February 13th. And his concern is that this was done prior to that on the 6th and the 7th. And so that is his concern. And as for Attorney Molino's statement about the Board of Elections being noted at the bottom of that proclamation, the Board of Elections did not submit that. That was put on there by Ms. Harvey, who submitted that proclamation with the notice of the casting of lots at the bottom of it to the media. And so, but I know that that's what he is referencing, is the timing of that notification.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Madam
Williams.
Chair.
Right. And the department, again, that section 2875 applies to the counties as well as the Department of State. So the Department of State on its own calendar, which was published in January, has the day for casting of lots in the Office of the Secretary of Commonwealth is February 21st. So if his reading is correct, the Secretary of State and the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania violated section 2875.
Right.
So that's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything here? Because I think we kind of went off on a tangent here, but there are no other phone calls that I can see, no other hands raised that I can see. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
In a second?
I'll second it.
You two are on the ball today. All in favor?
Aye.
Say
Aye.
aye. All right, meeting is adjourned at 6:28 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye now.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go. That is perhaps how it works. They decided that they would put a swimming pool there with a slide, and when the squirrels slid down the slide, and he drowned in the pool. Well, that was going on fine, for a couple of years. It was going fine. So then they went over and they asked the Catholics what they were doing. Well, the Catholics said, well, we went in and baptized them because now we'll only see them on Christmas and Easter. And they show up. Time one of the rabbis came by and they came over and he said, well, are you having any trouble with